Yo, how you guys doing on YouTube? Today we are coming out with our very first podcast. It's something new we're trying to do. I am joined here by I'm No One,
Hey, how's it going?
RK Grizz.
Yo, what's up?
Both people are a member of the RK Reborn Knights. You guys know I did a video about it. Organization I joined here recently. I think about last month. I'll link that video. But yeah, we're starting to do this new podcast. I hope you guys enjoy. No One, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, man.
What is going on? Well, obviously, thank you for the introduction, Judd. My name is No One. I am a content producer slash streamer for the Reborn Knights. I ended up joining them just about 2 or 3 weeks ago now, and I've been streaming pretty heavily on Twitch for them as of late.
Awesome, awesome. And No One's also going to be a permanent co-host of this podcast. We're going to try to do this podcast every Friday. Also, the man, the myth, the legend, RK Grizz. Tell them a little bit about yourself, man.
Well, my name's RK Grizz. I am the PS4 leader, also a leader of Pub Stompers. I joined back in, I think, was probably about 2015, 2014. I joined when Advanced Warfare started coming out and everything like that, so pretty much who I am.
Yeah, well, probably been in RK for quite a while. Have you been in it like since the beginning of RK or?
I wouldn't say the beginning, but like in the middle of it, that's when I started.
Okay, okay. We got a couple of topics we're gonna talk about. Let's talk a little bit about CWL. I don't know if many of you guys know about this, but Optic was playing the other day in a CWL match. They was playing, I believe it was Luminosity Gaming, LG, and they had a little bit of a lag issue. Optic won the first map. It went to the second map, and Optic lost the first match. It was on Optic's host. They lost. The second map, they actually, they won it. They took the search. The third map, they started having a lag issue, and Optic wasn't playing all up to par because of the lag, and they ended up having to forfeit the match after Crim6 and Karma went to Twitter and said some ugly things. Not really sure what the tweet is, but they got suspended and fined. What's your thoughts on the situation, Owen?
Honestly, like, if you're being a professional gamer, which you are, and you got a lot of people looking up to you, and you go on Twitter after a little nonsense like this that could be easily resolved, and you start ranting out like that, then yeah, you kind of do deserve to be suspended. I don't know about the whole fine issue because from what I hear, they don't get paid to play for the CWL. That's what I've been hearing about as of late. So honestly, like if you're ranting and raving on Twitter, I mean, you got to act professional. That's why you don't see these, basketball stars, baseball stars, football stars talking to the media and just completely ranting because eventually it's a bad PR move in a sense and also costs you a lot of money for it too.
Any thoughts on the subject there, Riz?
It's pretty much the same thing that no one said, but I would have to say that Twitter is Twitter, and you are allowed to say whatever you want on there. No one can control you on Twitter. I mean, they are professionals, but they also have their own life. They can basically say whatever they want. That's why it's called a freedom of speech.
Okay, the thing that has them is there's actually a player regulation book saying that you're not allowed to bash out against like the CWL. There's a player rule book in the CWL, and that's what they actually got fined for. But CWL, they have an official Twitter, and they was tweeting the other day about bashing 100 Thieves, which we'll get more into 100 Thieves a little bit later. But I mean, they was bashing because of their record and how they're not winning and everything. Is CWL not being a hypocrite here? I mean, could you guys not agree?
I mean, I do have to agree with that. I mean, if you're suspending two of the top players in the world for ranting and raving on Twitter, but yet you're doing the same exact thing, especially going after a certain team, yeah, that's being very hypocritical in my opinion.
Yeah, Grizz.
Well, I'd have to say that you say CWL. If they're talking bad about 100 Thieves, then they're probably saying the same exact thing that Crim6 and them are saying, and it's probably not right. But also another thing is they are an actual company that hosts Call of Duty tournaments and stuff, and if they're going to be talking bad about people that want to play in their tournaments, they're making themselves look bad also. So maybe it's going to turn out that no one wants to play CWL anymore.
It does seem like the CWL is not living up to the expectations of everybody. I mean, they have a good thing going, but I do believe like the CWL has handled a few matches wrong. Back in Season 1, I don't know if you guys actually remember this, but one of the phase members, they actually ended up getting a map forfeit against them for an unintended line of sight with a sniper rifle. Basically, if you guys are familiar with the map Stronghold, one of the phase members, they wall ran on bunker and double jumped over the trees and was able to see the B-bomb from there. And they actually forfeited for an unintended line of sight. So that's just one of the examples I could provide that maybe the CWL doesn't handle everything up to par, if that makes sense.
Nah, they really don't, but you cannot expect them to handle everything right away. I mean, it's still a brand new thing. You know, they're still trying to make this go completely national, I guess, if you want to say, kind of like how CSGO has been going. Eventually, you know, they'll start handling situations like this, but there was just a bad move on their end, talking smack about 100 Thieves like that. It's really, you know, from taking a step forward, they're now taking 2 steps back, if not more, just because of the recent incidents, if you want to say.
Yeah. Are you happy with like the way the CWL's been conducting themselves, Grizz, or?
I could tell you this. I don't know too much about the CWL. I know more about UMG. That's what I play on UMG all the time. CWL, what I'm hearing so far, they're not a very good company.
At heart, I mean, I think most of the pro players would actually agree with you. You can tell from the pro players that I think they'd actually prefer a different rule set when it comes to CWL. But let's talk a little bit about 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves was they performed very well at regulations. They ended up beating, I think, TK for a spot in Season 2. 100 Thieves, they just ain't had a very strong start here. Right now they're 2-18. The best they could finish Season 2 out is 4-18. I mean, what's your guys' thought on it? I mean, they've made roster changes. They've done a lot there, but do you guys think they'll actually achieve greatness as an organization, or just what's your thoughts?
Honestly, man, it's tough for a new org, but the problem is they have such a huge owner that I think the hype was blown way out of proportion. I mean, Nayshot just came out and is like, okay, I'm not that anymore. I'm starting up this team. And it got so much hype, and everybody was expecting huge things from this team. And they're just letting everybody down that follows Nayshot, and they really was hoping that this org would be something different, but you know, there's a reason why you always see the same pro players swapping out different teams, is because, you know, those pro players are up there for a reason. You can't just take, you know, an amateur team and then just throw them with the Wolves to, you know, expect them to do 500 or better. It's not going to happen.
Riz, what's your thoughts, man?
My thoughts are they have a great leader. Nadeshot is one of the best Call of Duty players that I know. Everybody starts somewhere. They're a new team. They're not going to be great right at the first start. Optic and FaZe and all those other teams, they weren't the best when they started. Basically, they're trying to adjust their team to make sure that they all play good together. You have to have a team that plays great together. And if they can't do that from the start, they're going to keep doing roster changes until they get a good team. I have faith that 100 Thieves will be a good team one day and possibly take Optic and FaZe out of the top.
That's the thing, though. Like, you know, what Nayshot did was really admirable because he took pretty much an AM team. You know, nobody knew who these guys were. And after they won, you know, the regulations, you know, they started to get their name out. And he ended up just pretty much practically buying out that team and throwing them straight to the CWL. Again, like I said before, 100 Thieves could be a really good organization. Problem is, they're going to use the same exact format that every other team's out there. And what that format is, they're going to take other pro players from other teams and just throw them on there. So they're not giving any other amateurs any chance of a spot to be on that team to prove themselves. They're just going to go ahead, like, well, who's in there now? The captain's Aches now, right?
It is Aches.
Yeah, and I guarantee you, Aches will bring somebody else along that he played with before that's a pro player, and boom, right there, you're going to make 100 Thieves just a little bit better. And next thing you know, they're going to have a full roster, nothing but pro players that everybody's already heard of, everybody's already seen, and they're going to be right there in the mix. So, like you said, you just got to give the team a try. But problem is, you got one certified pro, one certified champion, and then the rest of the team is just practically amateurs, man.
Go ahead, Grizz.
I'd hate to disagree with you right here, no one, but my opinion, I don't know if you guys know about Nadeshot and Aches. They used to hate each other. I mean, you wouldn't ever think of Nadeshot picking up Aches for a team.
Yeah, especially after all the stories that happened.
Yeah, they got into fights at UMG events and stuff like that. I figure Nadeshot will give anybody a chance. If you can prove yourself, I'm sure he would let you try out for his team.
See, the only problem I could see that is, like, he's a businessman. He knows what he needs to do in order to get his name out there. He already's done that with Optic. He's going to do this with 100 Thieves. It's just, there's only so many times you can give somebody a chance before you're like, okay, now I really got to go to something that's actually proven. I mean, I can understand that, he wants to help, amateurs out and this and that, but at the same time, it's like, why are you going to keep on investing into a failing business when you could bring a new manager along to help boost up that business? That's what he did with Aches. And he's going to do the same thing. He's going to start replacing those players, man. And next thing you know, it's going to be the same pros all over again, going right back into the same thing.
You see, like, the original roster, like, Nadeshot actually made a video about this. He actually can't make any roster changes right now, or he basically would. But according to the CWL rules, you got to have 2 players from the original roster that actually qualified. And Examples and Johnny was on the team whenever they qualified, right? And they ended up getting dropped. And I think they picked up Aches, and I don't remember who else they picked up. I think it was Remy. And I mean, I think that's probably their issue right now with roster changes. But I don't honestly know that they're actually going to be an organization that lasts for a while, because, I mean, my opinions on it is I think Nadeshot seen an opportunity, and Nadeshot took it, and sometimes not all opportunity works out, not even with a following like Nadeshot, because we've seen it with other people with big followings where stuff just hasn't worked out. Like, for example, you have Chaos X Silence, and he has about, I don't know, probably about 1.5 million on YouTube, not a bad following, and he's tried Respawn Energy, which was an energy drink company that he was trying to compete with G Fuel. And he tried to also do a website called, I don't remember what it was called, Viral Central. It's all viral. And, I mean, I think 100 Thieves could maybe be an organization that sticks around for a while. I just don't see it being like a well-known name in the COD community. I think Nadeshot may eventually like expand to other places, maybe League of Legends or CSGO or something, and could possibly build the organization up there.
I mean, he could build the organization in the COD community. It's not going to be a pro organization competing in a sense. You could easily build, like, for example, Optic. Optic still has streamers. They have YouTube content creators, but mostly everybody focuses on the competitive.
But you do have a very valid point there, because he did pick up Mercs. What's his name? I think it's Merc something. I can't think of it. But he's one of the biggest Call of Duty streamers on Twitch. Nick Mercs, that's his name, Nick Mercs. And, I mean, he could possibly build the organization up just from a content role, and maybe boost, like, the COD, his COD following, his, I don't know, like, his support in the COD community and stuff with 100 Thieves. That could very well happen, I believe.
Yeah, it could definitely easily happen.
But if RK Grizz doesn't have any more thoughts on it, we'll go ahead and move on. Any thoughts, man?
I was just on Twitter looking at 100 Thieves, and whoever controls the 100 Thieves Twitter posted on June 12th, I think that was when UMG Anaheim was going on.
Mm-hmm.
He posted, "My team didn't win an entire map," and then put like a funny little gif there. I think it's kind of funny that he would joke around about how his team didn't win. I think it's kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's not exactly Nate Shot is the one that runs that Twitter. He actually addressed that in a video, apologizing that he should really be taking it serious and that not to take the tweet. It was just something that happened, nothing that could be done about it. So he found it a laughing matter, but he ended up apologizing for it.
Yeah, I saw that video too, where he's just pretty much apologizing for his actions on it. And he says he deals with it differently. You know how some people take me for example. When I get hurt, like physically get hurt, I laugh. I don't know why. It's just the way I cope with it, and that's the way he said it too. That's the way he copes with certain situations. He has to make it funny. He has to laugh at it. Otherwise, it'd just be sad. So I don't blame Nate Shot at all for what he did. You know, you can't take that against him too much.
Yeah, I can agree there. Everybody always handles stuff differently, and I mean, was it warranted? Is that what you want with a public relations kind of role? Because that Twitter is like a public relations kind of role. That's the way I see it. But yeah, it could definitely been handled differently, but everyone always handles themselves a little bit different in different situations. But I think that's going to do it for that topic. Let's move on to Keemstar. Many of you guys know Keemstar he's the host of Drama Alert, and he's came out with a bunch of people have came out with hate videos on him, talking about, stuff from his past, racism. Some of the YouTubers are pretty big up there. You got Grade A, Under A, Fias here, and Pyro Cynical has all came out with videos. Basically, I mean, that's just the big YouTubers. There's a lot of them on there. But what's your thoughts on it?
Honestly, I mean, that was a coordinated attack on Keemstar. Like, it was just, if you guys watch all the videos in, the order, you'll see it was started off with Pyro, then it went with Leafy, and then went pretty much with like a nail in the coffin with Grade A, Under A. But in all those videos, they all kind of took everything he's ever done kind of bit out of context, if you want to say it that way. I mean, yes, there's a lot of damaging evidence that he said it himself, but honestly, the way everybody was attacking him, I kind of see it's like a little bit unfair and almost to the sense it's kind of like cyberbullying. I mean, granted, that's just what, Keemstar has always been doing. Like, don't get me wrong, Keemstar's no saint, but, I don't think he kind of deserved all that backlash in every single hate video that he's gotten so far.
Grizz?
Well, I would have to say that I think that Keemstar is getting what he deserves, only because he always drama on people. Like, if people are having an argument and he gets in it, he's just making the argument worse. The only thing that I think that is wrong with people attacking Keemstar is when they attack his daughter. That's the only time that I'm thinking that anything is wrong with what they're doing. Like, the whole thing with him being racist in the past, people can use that for years on him. If he's going to let it affect him, that's his problem.
A little bit about my thoughts on it. A lot of them videos was taken out of context, and I'd had to call Grade A, Under A, and Leafy's here. I'd had to call them hypocrites. Because they talk about, Keemstar sits here and he sends all these haters to people's channel, which Keemstar does do that. I'm not saying he doesn't. He's done that with his streams. He's done it with a bunch of different outlets like Twitter. He's probably done it on YouTube before. But is Leafy is here and Grade A, Under A not doing the exact same thing to him by sending people over to him to hate on him and telling everybody to unsubscribe?
Grade A, Under A knows that he's a certain type of person. He doesn't pretend to be anybody else. He speaks his mind. He definitely shows what he wants to speak. And I don't know if you can honestly say that he's hypocritical. I mean, he said himself, he's an a-hole. Grade A, Under A is an a-hole. And he's fully aware of it. So when you're fully aware of something, that's really not being hypocritical at all. It's just, literally, he even said it himself in this video, this is a coordinated attack. If you're trying to hide something, you will never say this is a coordinated attack. He stated himself, this is a coordinated attack to Keemstar, because Keemstar, is this and this and that. So, I don't know. I think Grade A, Under A is not really hypocritical at all. It's just, that's him doing his videos. That's all I can see it from there.
Yeah, Grizz, would you call that hypocritical, or how would you see that?
I'd go with along what he's saying, but the only thing I would say is Keemstar has done some bad things, but no one says the things that he's done good. I mean, yeah, the whole RuneScape thing, I don't know if you heard about that when he made fun of that guy saying he was a pedophile or something like that.
Yeah.
Apparently he wasn't. Well, he sent people to his stream, and he even sent this guy to a RuneScape like convention type thing, and made this guy's like life, because he started on Twitch with like only like maybe 10,000 followers, and now he has like over 500,000. Another thing is, there was this kid Keemstar found that was bullied in school and everything, really terribly, and he took that kid and basically introduced him to the whole FaZe clan. I mean, who does that? Like, someone that has a heart, like this guy has a heart, and people are making him look like he's an evil person. He's just doing what he likes to do. I mean, and in my opinion, he does bad things and good things. He's kind of like in the middle. It's kind of weird.
Well, I have my opinions. I have kind of mixed opinions on the Keemstar situation. Because I don't believe he deserves all the hate he's getting. I really don't. Because a lot of it is very hypocritical. Like I said, I think a lot of it's hypocritical because, I mean, people are saying that, are trying to accuse them of doing certain things when they're doing the videos, they're actually doing the exact same thing Akeem. And I'm a big believer in two wrongs don't make a right. But also, Keemstar does do a lot of bad things, and he always ends up apologizing for it. And like the way I see it, you can't always just do what you want and then apologize for it later. I mean, I don't think that's morally right, because if I steal $100 from you, just as an example, and then I apologize for it, it still doesn't make it right that I stole $100 and I just give you back $25. I'm like, here's $25. I'm sorry. And I mean, that's just a metaphor. Because that's what it seems like Keemstar does at times. He's like, for example, who was it? I think it was Basherverse. Don't quote me on this. I may be completely wrong, but I think he was accusing Basherverse at one time of being a pedophile. And it turned out he wasn't, and he made a lot of videos with it. And Basher, so much hate on his channel, and Keemstar did apologize to him after he figured out that it wasn't true. And I mean, Basher still had to go through all that time where, you know, he's just getting hate and he's wanting to quit YouTube and he's wanting to do all this, and it wasn't warranted against him, in my opinion. And I mean, do you guys think Keemstar, whenever he reports the news, maybe he needs to be better at making sure everybody knows it's allegations? Because this seems to be a growing problem sometimes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like he needs to do his research a lot better, to be honest with you. Like, he absolutely have to have some sort of concrete evidence that, you know, otherwise, like you said, yes, he should just start being like, start the video. These are only allegations. This is only a rumor. This is not 100%, you know, verified. So please don't, you know, take the word, you know, just take it with a grain of salt. Just pretty much, he should just put a disclaimer of it. Otherwise, he could ruin people's lives like he did with that guy.
I think basically the same thing that no one said. I would have to say that he needs to start putting something in his description saying, hey, my videos are my opinion. And also, he needs to start making sure that at least his facts are a little bit true. I mean, he's just busting out things that are just lies and lies and lies. Where's the truth? Like, he never has any.
This is going to be the final topic. We're going to be talking a little bit about CSGO gambling websites, tmartin, and Syndicate. If you guys don't know what's going on, basically Syndicate and tmartin owns this CSGO gambling website where, you know, you gamble skins. I think there's a roulette and there's coin flips and all kinds of different ways you can bet these CSGO skins. And tmartin has been uploading videos of him winning. I don't even know I know I've seen one where he won $30,000 on this website, and it happens to be that he owns the website, and there may be legal actions possibly in the future to it. Grizz, would you like to start out with your?
My whole opinion here would be tmartin has uploaded videos, and people were saying they are fake, that he faked his videos, that he didn't actually win, he made it so he'd win. those are just allegations. There's no proof that he did that. If anybody had proof, then they could actually say that he did it. Everybody's just making allegations on him.
And first of all, they have, if you guys follow Honor the Call, he's a small YouTuber, now he's slowly gaining a lot of momentum. He's the one that exposed it, tmartn and Pro Syndicate about these CSGO lottery videos. There is somebody actually ended up downloading one of the tmartn videos, and where he does like the coin flip and whatnot. It actually shows him as the administrator of the website. It actually shows him as the bot. He has a bot, so no matter what he does, he will always win, and that's literally video proof because it came from his screen. And I have to find you the link. I know it's all over Twitter now. It's just completely blowing up everywhere. But the whole tmartn situation, tmartn was the owner from day one, the owner of the CSGO website. And this guy exposed him. And everybody's like, it's, dated in December where he was the owner of the website and this and that. It takes a couple months for you to get that business verification to be set off. And the reason why this is a huge, causing a huge uproar is because of the fact that he lied to his fans. He lied saying that, we found this website and, we're thinking about being sponsored and this and that, blah, blah, blah. He never mentioned that he was the owner, let alone the co-owner with Pro Syndicate. And same thing with Syndicate's video. Never said anything that they were part owners in it. That's completely lying to your fan base. And I'm sorry, but that's just being completely dishonest and being really, really scummy because all he's doing is just creating this YouTube revenue. And this is not even talking about, gambling on your own website. You will never find a casino owner ever gambling his own casino. It's just against moral law, I guess, if you want to put it that way. I'm surprised that this is not being considered as money laundering because that there in itself will carry a huge, huge fine and a huge offense. That's prison time right there.
Well, a little bit about my thoughts on the situation. I watched the tmartn video. He did it on his second channel. I'll link it. All the videos we've talked about today, I'll make sure it's in the description so you guys can check it out. But I looked at his defense, I guess I'd call it. And he was saying he did have that he owned the website in the description. But here's my thought on it. Did he go back and change his description? Because I do YouTube, you do YouTube, no one, and there's been times where I've gone back and added things to my description. So I know you can do that. You can change your descriptions at any time.
As a matter of fact, there is, because if you go to the Wayback Machine, it will show the day that he posted that video. It doesn't say anything about being the owner of the CSGO website. It doesn't say anything else. But if you see those same exact videos now, he did change it. He says, I'm this and that and blah, blah, blah. So, yes, he did change it, and people are finding these evidences now. That's the thing. Like, if you go on Twitter right now and you search what tmartn, just search tmartn in general, and you'll be able to find all this stuff against him now. And his back is pretty much against the wall as we speak. Like, it is getting to that point where, I don't know, maybe YouTube might do something about it, because that's a complete breach of YouTube TOS service. The terms of service policy that YouTube has. Mm-hmm. Huge breach of it. Reason why is because they're not saying, this is a paid advertisement. This is not paid. Because if if I'm an owner of, I don't know, G Fuel, and I'm making a video about G Fuel, but I'm saying, this is a great drink, guys, and I have 10 million subscribers that are willing to buy this G Fuel, but I'm not saying I'm part owner. I'm not saying I'm sponsored by them. That's breach of contract right there, right?
Well, in the YouTube's terms of service, the way paid advertisement works. Basically, let's say G Fuel pays me to do a video on promoting G Fuel, okay? And I make the video. When it becomes breach of the contract with YouTube, the terms of services, is whenever I monetize the video, which means I make money off the ads. That is when the terms of service is actually broken at that point. Now, I'm not really sure about the whole whether tmartn's allowed to. Technically, off the terms of service, I would think that that's actually not a breach of that terms of service. There may be another one, but I'm not a lawyer here. I'm not really sure. That may be breaching the terms of service, I guess. But You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of them things where it's kind of like you get into a gray area there.
I'd like to point out also that there are people on Twitter talking to tmartn, and I've just looked on two things that two different people have said. One of them said that it's never been a secret, that it was easily proven that he retroactively added the disclaimers in his description. So basically, he's saying that he knows that he added that into his description. Another thing is that tmartn came back and said the company of officers were always on a public record, saying that basically everything that he has is on a public record. So
Yeah, I mean, everything is on a public record. Yes, you can go and search for that. Problem is, he never stated it in his videos at all. That he's owner, that he's part owner, or this and that. He's never stated it whatsoever.
Another thing is, this kid also asked tmartn why he had the bot account when gambling. And he also asked, is that just a part of CSGO Lotto or what? And tmartn also came back at him saying, it's just a Steam account that holds and trades skins, nothing more. So basically he's saying that bot account was just a Steam account that holds his skins and stuff like that.
Yeah. Let's go a little bit into what no one was talking about, him never claiming that he owns the website. Now, let's just say tmartn's not lying here, and he did have it in his description. Is that good enough? I mean, because, the way I look at it is I watch a lot of my YouTube at night, mainly when I'm going to bed, and I have an Xbox One I watch it on. Like, I watch it on my TV while I'm going to bed, and if you're watching it on Xbox One, there is no possible way to see descriptions. You don't see descriptions, you just see videos. You don't see annotations, you don't see anything like that if you're on the Xbox One platform. And I believe the same thing could be said for the PS4 platform as well. And I know I'm not the only one that watches YouTube when I'm going to sleep at night on my Xbox or my PlayStation or whatever, as it's just not convenient to have the computer there. So is it being in the description actually good enough?
Technically, yes. It's considered good enough, but honestly, you could change anything you want on a description 5 days later. You could do whatever you want with description. But when you say it in video, that's set in stone. That's video proof. He's never said anything about the CSGO website other than, hey guys, I found this new site that we might be doing partnering with, type of deal. That's just straight up lying, especially when you have proof of ownership, that dates back. So honestly, like, description, it's just the bare minimum. That's just getting by. It's really nothing else other than just doing a bare minimum. But when you state it on your video, that's more like set in stone. That's all it is. That's the same thing what he did with the, his latest video about, his latest vlog about the CSGO scandal that was going on. That's when he actually said, yes, I do, me and a bunch of other guys did this and blah, 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 built this from scratch. Well, if you built it from scratch, that means you did it since day one. It doesn't mean that, Judd over here built this website, but I want to invest in it and take full ownership. Then Judd's the one that built it from scratch. It wasn't tmartn, it was Judd. So the same thing goes for them. So I don't know. The description is just a bare minimum. It's just to get by. That's all it is.
Yeah. Another thing I'd like to point out here is there was also rumors about another guy that it's part of the actual Lotto. His name is Josh OG. He's on Twitch. Apparently he also has a part in this lottery system, and no one's talking about him. But another thing is, since tmartn is the owner of the site, he can also see his rolls before they even happen when he does the lottery.
I'm not really sure on that. Maybe he can, maybe he can't. We're probably gonna bring this podcast to a close. I hope you guys do enjoy. There will be links in the description. You guys make sure to go over to No One's channel. Make sure to subscribe to him, and links to their social medias and YouTube and stuff. You guys make sure to follow No One at twitch.tv/ you tell them the rest, No One.
It is spelled out MRKNOBODY. That spells out Mr. Nobody. Remember the K silent.
It will be in the description below, so you guys make sure to check it out. Make sure you hit him up. on Twitter as well at Mr. No One, MRKNO1, the number 1. That will also be down there, and you guys make sure to hit my man Grizz up with a follow over on Twitter as well.
That would be RK_Grizz, GRIZZ.
But this is gonna be kind of a series I want to incorporate every Friday. It's gonna be called Knights of the Round Table. No one will be joining me every Friday. It will be uploaded. We hope to have Grizz back very soon. We may bring him back for the next one. Haven't really talked to Grizz much about being a permanent host. I've talked to no one. But I hope you guys did enjoy. You guys don't forget to hit that like button. And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And peace out, guys.
Also, don't forget to fear the knights.
Fear the knights.
Fear
the
it.
knights.